Hey guys, what's going on? It's Alexander Williamson here, and welcome to The Secret History Living in Your Aquarium. Today we have another unboxing, and this one's an exciting one because it's from a very hardcore, I'd say professional, but hobbyist in the Caridina and Caridina shrimp keeping hobby. Now, this gentleman, Daniel Johnson, I've known him through Facebook and various forums, chatting about shrimp and seeing each other for over half a decade now. And so we've been familiar with one another and chatted and, shared pictures and seen each other's shrimp and all that. And kind of compared notes on various rare strains and things like that. But recently he saw my video on the fact that Caridina shrimp, I think, in my opinion, are going out in as far as being a profitable source of income for your average hobbyist. You're not going to be breeding, Blue Dream shrimp and getting $10 or $2 or $3 wholesale anymore. I mean, it's coming in from Asia, 50 cents, 30 cents, 75 cents, whatever it may be. It's just not like it used to be. And you can check out the other video. It's called The Truth About the Shrimp, Breeding Shrimp for Profit in 2021. But in that video, I also said that I think that there's still tons of room, especially in America, for us to start breeding more wild strain shrimp. There are over 1,800 wild species of what we call dwarf or small shrimp that are freshwater or fresh and salt water that we don't even know. We don't even, we don't even have Latin names for. We just know they exist. We haven't studied them heavily. And beyond those, it's guessed that that's maybe half of what's out there, if that. So in the coming years, with genetics and taxonomy and more people with their eyes in the hobby looking for those shrimp out on remote Indonesian, islands or in the Philippines, there could be, a species for every island that has fresh water on it, for all we know. So those shrimp, the shrimp in Lake Sulawesi, the Celebes shrimp, the shrimp in Iraq, some of the Indian and the Babaulti Caridina strains, doing new things with the tiger strain. And if you're going to stick with Caridina, then there's, things like the onyx or maybe like black carbon with a gold line down the back. Things like that are a little less common. You haven't seen that much of. Maybe yellow Riley shrimp. Things like that may still hold their value for a while in the U.S. But one of the huge things is when you breed these things in country, unlike most places, almost all big box stores and pretty much most places online, honestly, you don't get the survivability. You don't get that hardiness because they grew up in different water. They've been through this kind of traumatic life cycle. And if you can get locally bred shrimp, you may have a species that you can't keep alive for the life of you survive in any one of your tanks, in any condition that your tap water will produce, as long as you don't have ammonia or anything going on in your tank. And so that's a really important thing. And Daniel reached out to me and he said, hey, you know what, I want to send you some of these new wild Caridina species and see what you think of them. So he sent me the Racoon variant of the tiger shrimp. He sent me some Thai bee shrimp and some crystal shrimp, crystal red shrimp, as well as a new Caridina that's supposed to be pretty hardy, that's known as the Cheetah Caridina, with these beautiful kind of iridescent colors in it swirling around and these little polka dots on it. And I want to do an unboxing today and show you. I bought some crystal reds from him, and he sent me an assortment of some of these new and interesting shrimp to check out. And boy, am I happy with this. And I want to share, his website and thank him again for doing this. And hopefully I can keep them going and then pass on some of these lines to other people who are trying to keep these unusual or rare shrimp that maybe only get brought into the U.S. when someone makes a personal trip to, you know, Southeast Asia with the intent of bringing back these shrimp and getting all the right paperwork and all that kind of stuff. They're just not imported in the hobby in mass. So let's turn this around, dun, 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 lower it down, and take a look what's in the box. So yes, I've already opened it, but I just want to tell you guys that this is hands down the best quality homebred shrimp stuff I've ever seen. A lot of times the shrimp look better when you get them overseas, just because they're bred in big kind of factory warehouses or outside, but usually Caridina are bred in big warehouse rows of tanks in Taiwan or Singapore or somewhere like that, Hong Kong. And these, look at these crystal red shrimp. I mean, they've got the white dots on the back. They're like the super crystal reds. This is what he sent me. I think these were, what was it, $35 for 10 or $40 for 10 plus shipping. I mean, and then if you buy over $100 worth, the shipping's free. But he's breeding all these in the country, and you know, obviously I still love Aquatic Arts for fish, for a lot of shrimp, for a lot of rare shrimp that you can't get anywhere else either. But you know, local breeders are still a lifeblood in our hobby, and he has a website as well, Dan Aquatics, just like DAN, and then like aquatics but without the A. Whoa, we have a tip. The tripod lost a leg, and he sent me these, and they're just beautiful. I mean, look at these guys. These, I believe, are the Cheetahs. So these are a new Caridina line, and I mean, packaging wise, he also just put them in a nice breather bag. They came USPS and in a nice breather bag, packed in with you know, he gave me some nice coupons so I can get some Easter candy. Might be a little out of date. I must be saving newspapers. But a nice insulated bag. It was like 70 degrees exactly, 72 degrees when I opened it, and it had been sitting on my porch for a little while because I didn't realize the post had come. But I mean, just look at these guys. They're stressed at the moment. They're in a bag, and they're still just incredibly beautiful. So these are the Cheetahs, and they have little spots all over, and they're supposed to be pretty darn hardy, be able to take harder water and a little more neutral, slightly acidic to neutral water, but I'm looking forward to it. I hope that there's something like Malawa shrimp, you know, in that those are like the most hardy shrimp I've ever had, and they're Caridina. But he sent me, I believe, 10 or 15 of these, maybe 10 of them, and they all look alive and healthy. Some clearly have like blue iridescence, and we'll have to, like, when they really color up, these are stressed and they're still this beautiful. I mean, maybe we can get some contrast here with white going on here, but you can go to his website and see what he's breeding at Dan Aquatics. It'll be linked below, of course, as will Aquatic Arts below that, but just a major thank you to him. I mean, he also sent me some shrimp food, this all organic dwarf shrimp food called Nug Bombs. I've never tried it, and it's got alfalfa, barley, oats, spirulina, soy, calcium, bentonite clay, bee pollen, and you know, all sorts of stuff. But it says it sinks, won't spoil in your water, which is great, so it doesn't break down into a bunch of ammonia quickly, and breaks apart easily to feed groups of shrimp, so they can all, you know, break it apart, feed the baby shrimp, as well as snails, small fish, and microfauna. So it's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to trying this, as well as Aquatic Arts sent me bee pollen and snowflakes food. And then here we've got, he gave me some moss cuttings because he knows I'm a big old plant nerd, so I'm excited about the giant willow moss and he sent me a couple of different pieces here, so I'm excited. But let me show you these mix bags of his other shrimp that he sent me to give a try, so I could see, you know, what I'm successful with in our water. He's in Utah, and I'm in Seattle. Very different water parameters, but I mean, here, let's get some more light coming out this way. But here we can see that he just breeds some beautiful shrimp. I mean, in here we've got the super tigers and then the orange-eyed blue tigers, and they've got just really nice stripes. Look at how bold those stripes are. And some of them have like orange rostrums or noses, and orange tails, as well as orange the little swimmerettes. But you can also see there's some babies in here that look like they're more almost like crystal type, but they're I mean, whatever you'd like to call them, mishlings or mix, I would guess, but I'm guessing that's what they are. Or they could be little herringbone ones, I suppose, too. But look at some of these. The pattern on them is just incredible. Some of these have kind of like a pinto. Some of them have the herringbone or fishbone pattern, or skeleton kind of pattern. And then it looks like we've got some tangerine tigers, or gold bees. I don't know exactly which. Well, they're not gold bees. These are probably all tiger shrimp. But yet again, the boldly striped super ones are really something special. So they all arrive looking really healthy, all however many there are in here. I mean, look, there's little baby yellow guys, and then a few of the adults. I mean, he definitely sent me some very nice specimens also. So these will have to stay separate, you know, from the other Caridina lines if I'd hope to keep them clean, which I would like to. Also, looks like he sent me these, which are maybe a mix of his shrimp, I would assume. So Thai bees, and then we've got like orange-eyed blue tiger I see here. I see probably another tiger shrimp, or let's see here. And then it looks like some red wine, or maybe herringbone pattern, or fishbone pattern, whatever you want to call it. And it looks like some wine and some pintos. Maybe King Kong, is it back in there? It looks like. So there's just a mix of stuff. And there's also a bunch of babies in here. So I was just blown away by how kind he was sending these. I mean, look at this red one we've got almost like a pinto pattern or something on the very end. It's almost a shape, like it almost looks like a cross. And then in the body there, the tail, we've got the fishbone pattern. So really beautiful. And again, they're going to be so much hardier than shrimp from overseas. And again here, it looks like we may even have some little zebra Babaultis or something, which would be a Caridina. So I'm not sure what line these are across from, and I'll have to ask him again, and we'll find out in the future. But again, these are stressed, and they're still this freaking beautiful. I mean, look at these things. I'm scared to take them out of the breather bag, quite frankly, because of how beautiful they are. And then the last package that he sent, here we have the super tigers that have this nice almost purple, but dark purplish blue, kind of black striping on them, and they're just another beautiful shrimp. This is another wild variety, new to the hobby. So these super tigers, the raccoons, and the mix of the cheetahs, those three are kind of all newer to the hobby. But he also sent me, as well as the food, looks like some, I'm not positive, but looks like maybe agave leaf. It's definitely not catapa. No, not agave, why am I saying that? Guava leaf, maybe. Could be mulberry, but looks like guava. but I'm very excited about it. So again, thank you so much, Dan. I appreciate it a lot. And you know, he's been around a lot. He's got a lot of feedback on the website, ban.us, I believe it is. I'll link it below. You can also buy, sell, check out auctions for even rarer stuff. You know, obviously there's shrimp all across the gamut, but if we just take a look really quick here at stuff that I've got going on currently, it's kind of nighttime, but hopefully what we'll be doing is we'll be putting some of the tigers in here, some in here. There's just baby Neocaridinas in both of these right now at the moment. And then in here we've got my big algae eating and Pinocchios in here, but there's fish in with them, so I'm not going to put anything in there. But then down here we've already got pretty good luck with Priscilla sent me, we've got a molting little very high quality Neocaridinas in here. I mean, just top notch. Look at how they glow. That one's molting though. But when we take a look through here, see here, there should be, where are they? Where are you hiding, little guys? Some crystal reds, or maybe they were Michelin like red wine or some sort of mix. And by Michelin, I just mean mix in that they may have a recessive gene hidden in them, and so when you mix two of the Michelins, you may end up with the recessive trait that neither of them is expressing. So you could have two black and white Michelins, and in German I think it just means mix or mutt kind of, and then you mix them together and all of a sudden you end up with a whole new color form like red, or you know, in some cases it really turns things on their head, and it really plays with the genetics depending on what you're starting with, whether it's Thai bee shrimp or tiger shrimp or you know, whatever you have a mix of. But in any case, yeah, so these Neocaridinas, well, I thought they would come out to play the Caridinas that are in here too. Have done really well the last few months. The younger ones did well. The older ones, I have to say, I didn't do so hot. From Priscilla, who's in Denver. I'm sure it was no fault of hers. They were very beautiful, healthy looking shrimp, but the young teeny tiny babies are what just took off and did super well in here. There's some up there, but they're very good quality too. And she's with Swiss Aquatics too. So if you're looking for somebody who has, you know, these great lines, here's, you know, just a typical pretty decent line of red Neocaridina cherry shrimp, old school. But you've got the kind that glow kind of translucently versus the kind that have the, well, this one's gonna shed soon, but you've got the opaque kind where you can't even see the eggs. And then we've got the blue Riley that's red and blue and kind of purple in between, also on the red. Over in here, the existing shrimp, and just to show you how prolific they are, they're with freaking gouramis. They're with samurai gouramis, and you can see how they still are not even phased by the fact that they've got these big tough 4 gouramis in here with them. And these are my Malawa shrimp. This is my bluer Malawa line here, blue and green line. They're not super strongly colored. This is a new tank setup just for today, just for this function. Everything's cycled water that's been in there, and we'll put a little filter in there and everything. We've got lots of these sponge filters. I like these ones that you can buy that have they have 2 prongs on them. Let me show you. Like this, and you can see I've already taken a sponge off of one, but that's because this is filtered and ready to go. So I can take this and or here's some new ones actually that aren't cycled yet, and I can either have a 1 piece and just put an air stone in it, or I can keep it as a 2 piece and you know, go from there. But so we've got those, and then we've got the golden nebulas in here. And again, people don't realize how hardy Caridina can be. These are in with cully loaches. They're in with angelfish. They're in with these platies, and they're in with lizard cats, and they're in with a pair of apistos right now, and gobies. Yet there are still all these Malawa. Or sorry, no, these are the golden nebulas, still all over in here. And when you look low, they're down, hiding all over, as well as all up at the surface. They're kind of interspersed all over in here. And you move a rock and 1,000 come jumping out. So, you know, they're pretty bold, even though they've got major predators in here. So if you get a colony established of these, don't let it deter you from, you know, actually putting other interesting animals in the tank. You know, they live with other creatures in the wild, and in here we've got, you know, I've got 3 male bettas in here. Well, 2 male bettas right now, and a female betta, and danios and pandagaras, and we still have just literally hundreds of Malawa. And this is more of the red line that I have rather than the blue and green. These ones tend to be rustier orange or yellow, and ranging to clear on both ends of that spectrum. But I've just been trying to separate them so you can kind of see that orangish yellow back there. And then, of course, all of my other tanks, even with giant haplochromis in them, I keep shrimp in there. Even the Turkana jewel cichlids have some shrimp in with them, so it's definitely doable. There's a nice gold nebula, just to show you a Caridina gold nebula with the nice striping and dots on them. Looks like stars sparkling, and so there's a lot of species out there that we've just yet to play with. Here's another tank that I have that's ready for Caridina, and lots of things. As long as you've got water that's somewhere between 6.5 and 7ish usually, KH between 1 and 3 or 1 and 5. 5 is a little high for most of them, but just depending on what you're doing and where they were raised, your mileage will vary. And then a GH generally a little bit higher. But some of these, I mean, these are from Daniel, from Dan Aquatics, are actually coming from tanks where the hardness is like 150 parts per million, which is like, in the past that would only be for, I mean, you would only consider that for Neocaridina. And here we have another Caridina species. So just, you know, it's really fun to try out these wild lines and these wild species. And a lot of times they'll clean the fish eggs for you and things like that when you're hatching, especially in a room temperature tank. And this one doesn't even have air. A lot of these don't even have any filtration or air going to them, or heat for that matter. So take a second look at Caridina, and they've come a long way in the hobby with how hardy they are, and it's thanks to people like Dan. So you know, thanks Dan, I appreciate it, and I'm excited. Well, now I got a big mess of paper and everything all over, but I'm excited to drip acclimate these guys and get them into their communities respectively. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.